Partners of sleep talkers or sleepwalkers, what gems have you to share? My wife will tell me the next day when I do this. Her favorite story to tell is that she woke up in the middle of the night to find me slowly walking out of our bedroom. Wife, are you okay? What are you doing? Me, there's somebody downstairs in the kitchen, unrolling the tinfoil. Wife, okay. What's your plan? Me, I'm going to stop them. Wife, shall we get a bit more sleep then both go down together? Me, okay. And I went back to bed. Subsequent investigations found a small plastic bag on the floor near my head, being rustled by the movement of the curtain, the window being open. He farted very loudly and proceeded to say, "You got the wrong guy." My girl woke up one night and said, "Did you find your rocks?" And I asked her what she was talking about, and she said, "I don't know. I'm just trying to make conversation," and promptly went back to sleep. She has no recollection of this. My boyfriend woke me up the other day by gently putting his fingers in my mouth, and I kept moving my head out of the way until eventually I was like, "Can you stop that?" He then sounded genuinely upset and asked why I woke him up, as he was having a really nice dream about feeding a deer. Brilliant. Sigh. My boyfriend either recites postcodes, delivery driver, or calls the dog in his sleep. So either he is mad no one is responding to his postcode nonsense, or I get a flying 30-kilogram dog to my body. My aunt likes to tell the story about her and my cousin sharing a hotel room one time. My aunt woke up having to pee and found my cousin sitting up in bed with her arms folded across her abdomen, kind of rocking back and forth and giggling quietly. When my aunt asked her what she was doing, my cousin said, "I'm holding a baby and it has an adult smile." I found this story deeply unsettling. Fantastic sleep songs with lyrics which are utterly bizarre. My two absolute favorites have been number 1, "Oh whoa whoa, it's a corner cat." Number 2, "Obey my rules and you'll always be a country cowboy." Repeated about 5 times and finished with a "yeah." My wife started screaming one night that she was lost in the local grocery store, and that no matter where she went, she couldn't find her way out. I asked her has she tried checking out at the cash registers. She then looked at me and said in her most sincere voice, "That's why you are the smartest person I know." And she rolled over and fell back asleep. My wife was mumbling a lot and suddenly shouted, "Donkey kick," as she kicked me in my shin, so that was fun. My mom sleepwalks sometimes. When she was in the middle of her residency, she came into my room in the middle of the night and sharply asked, "Did you give patient her dose of medication like I asked you to 15 minutes ago?" I groggily replied, "Who? What?" She just huffed and said, "Well, I guess that answers my question," before turning around and leaving, without closing the door, of course. She didn't remember a thing about it the next morning. He got up, went into the kitchen, and ate one bite of a mini pecan pie. No fork, just a straight bite. Then apparently remembered he hates pecan pie and left it stacked neatly on the little box. Another time, he sat up and stared straight ahead at the wall, didn't respond to me asking what was wrong. He stood up, walked into the wall, then stood there like he was contemplating the barrier. He just backed up exactly as he came, sat down, and swung back into bed like nothing happened. That was creepy. Napping with the boyfriend. A loud noise wakes me, but he's still out. Me. What was that? Him. Either a tree or a magic eraser. I have had funnier experiences than this one, but cannot remember exactly what was said. Most recently, though, my boyfriend scoots over to me to Big Spoon, Little Spoon, and I snuggle in, thinking that's all it was. Then he gets real close to my ear and whispers, "Just so you know, there's something in the closet, like a cartoon turtle." I did my best not to bust out laughing and just said, "Okay, honey." When he woke up, he had no memory of it whatsoever, of course. I've been told that, as a child, my father would regularly sleepwalk into his dad's bedroom and urinate in his work shoes. When I was a child, about 5 years old, I was sleeping in my parents' bed for some reason, probably a storm. Mom was awake, Dad and I were asleep. Suddenly, my father and I have this cross-sleep conversation while my mom lays between us, quietly freaked out. "Dad, you better not take my toys." I mutter angrily. Okay, I won't, my father responds. Don't even touch them. Okay. Not particularly scintillating conversation, but notable for the fact that we're both asleep and still responding to each other. It was like making Alexa and Siri talk to each other, lol. My mom used to wake me up for school because I'd sleep through my alarms. She has a bunch of stories about weird stuff I've said to her right before waking. He's not here. Check down the street. Just put it on the roof and it'll blow away. My mom jumped my dad because in her dream he was a thief that stole an old lady out of the hospital, so she had to catch him. Edit. I slept over it for a night, and while reading it again, I realized it was the other way around. She thought she had to protect the old lady, so she decided to jump on her to protect her from the thief. Then she woke up on top of my dad. My girlfriend was sleepwalking one night. Her, can we get that done this week? Me, huh? Her, can we get that done this week? Me, sorry. Her, can we get that done this week, please? Me, okay. Her, thanks. He started shouting that he couldn't feel his left arm. I pointed out he was pinching his pillow, not his arm. He then freaked out that he had lost his arm. I pointed out his arm was under his pillow. He said okay and started snoring. It took me another hour to get back to sleep. He didn't wake up at all. Edit. Blimey, went to bed and this went crazy overnight. Thanks to those who reached out and concerned to check on his health. He participated in a sleep study and it was found to be stress-related. Luckily, not sleep apnea. Also, he did wake up, just not until morning. Didn't realize I'd phrased it in such a way that people thought he'd died. Not my partner, but my younger brother and I used to share a room and used bunk beds. One night I heard him mumble, I don't create the weather, I just predict it. LMAO, one time my ex was asleep and started to snore progressively loud. He startled himself half awake and he says out loud to himself, shut up, I am sleeping. Oh, I snorted my drink through my nose. I'd be the king of Monaco. My wife said this one night out of nowhere. The funniest part was her tone of voice, proud and assertive, like she was really sure of her claim to the throne. Anyway, the joke's on her. Monaco is a principality. Wow, thanks everyone. I've never had a post or comment get above 10 upvotes before and definitely never had any awards. My boyfriend once blurted out, you're putting bread in my ears, in his sleep, mumbled something unintelligible, and then followed up with, and I'm becoming a sandwich. Still makes me laugh whenever I remember. Husband woke up in the morning and told me about a crazy dream he had. We were hosting a party and he was serving cookies. He was upset that nobody was eating them. When we went downstairs, we discovered a full plate of cookies sitting on our dining table. Years ago, my wife was mumbling in her sleep and seemed a bit upset. I wanted to comfort her, without waking her up too much, so I said, honey, you're fine. Do you know where you are? She slugged me in the arm and said, I'm in place where punch buggies are seen first. She then rolled over and muttered to herself, chugga 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 buggy, and went back to sleep. She didn't remember a thing the next morning. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and also subscribe for more content coming in the future. Also, if you could leave a comment down below with suggestions for future subreddits that I should read from, that would be great. This has been Reading from Reddit, and I will see you all next time.